guys. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. And so, you guys, today we are going to have an amazing conversation. I always tell you guys, God is absolutely amazing. He connects me with the most powerful women in business, kingdom women in business. Let's say it that way. Kingdom women in business, because we're not afraid to say, that we are believers. We're not afraid to say, knowing who our source is, period. And so those of you that may be new to my space, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Beverly Walthour. I am a business strategist specifically for established Christian female coaches who desire to accelerate their income and their impact without compromising their Christian values. And so we're going to have a conversation today with the amazing Dupé. And so I met her a couple of years ago over there on Clubhouse. And so when I had this conversation with her and the way that God has used her to be able to be a voice in the kingdom, and like I said, not having to compromise her Christian values, that was the amazing part to it. And so we're just going to have this conversation with her. She's going to come on and share her expertise. So let me do the preliminary stuff, the technical stuff. Let me read her bio really, really quick, and then I'm going to bring her into the main room. She's in the green room right now, but I'm going to read her bio very quickly, and then I'm going to bring her in so that she can have this conversation with us about the 5 mistakes that content creators make. And so once again, Dupé is a renowned expert in content creation and personal branding. She has amassed an impressive following of over 400,000 across her social media platforms. She's an award-winning keynote speaker. She's a prolific 6-time author, Christian content creator, content coach. She has a background in education, curriculum development. She has all of these different industries. Her expertise as a content coach is highly regarded in the industry, especially for Christian entrepreneurs and professionals. And so she helps them to transform their digital landscape and build a profitable online brand while staying true to their Christian values. And so that's the beautiful piece. And so I'm going to bring Dupé on so that we can have this conversation. So first of all, Dupé, thank you so much for agreeing to do this conversation with me. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much, Beverly. I'm super excited to be here.
You're welcome. And she said good morning because she's over there in Cali. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm over here on the East Coast. I'm like, it's lunchtime over here. But look. And so we have a couple of people that are joining. I know they're coming in as well. But like I said, and you'll probably see me doing more of these types of conversations where we're just having conversations with believers in business and those that are not compromising their values to build their businesses, and they're successful at it. So a lot of times, when we see, and talk about content and social media, and when we hear about people, for instance, someone like Dupé, that she's built this huge following, but this is the thing, she has a very engaged community. And that's an important piece too, because I know sometimes social media can have a negative connotation when we see some things that people are doing, twerking and all that stuff to get. And no, we don't have to do any of that to be able to build our following on social media. So Dupé, before we dive into this, I just want I gave your professional bio, but I would love for you just to give us a little bit information about what it is you do, who you serve, and how you even got started with all of this.
Yeah. So hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So like Beverly said, my name is Dupè Aleru, and I'm a Christian content creator. I'm also a content coach and motivational speaker. So what I do is I work with Christian entrepreneurs and professionals who are established, and I help them to become highly visible and profitable content creators. So my clients come to me to help them enhance their brand visibility, as well as teach them how to leverage content so that they can build a business on the back end.
Wow. And how in the world did you get started with doing all of this?
It's crazy because, I have my background in teaching. So when you kind of think of that, I kind of went from classroom teaching to kind of teaching on a mass scale, which is online. And I haven't stopped. I used to own a tutoring company. And I think when I started to create content, when I owned my first company, I closed that in 2019. One of the first things that I created was curriculum for school districts and government agencies. And I learned very quickly, I just love creating, right? I love creating videos. I love creating courses. And that's kind of where this new, I guess, career for me like blossomed.
I love that. And once again, Dupé and I, we realize we have a lot of similarities. Like I used to be an
Mhm.
educator. I used to have my own tutoring company. Like, it's absolutely
Crazy.
amazing the way that God will bring people together. And I always say, we as believers in business, we literally have everything inside the kingdom. Like we don't have to go outside the kingdom unless we want to. So
Mm.
anything that you want to find is actually in the kingdom. And I feel like having these conversations, doing these collaborations is so important so that people see that and so they know that they do have options. So
Right.
I know you guys are tired of hearing my voice. You guys literally, I have my own paper and pen because I'm going to be taking notes. So once again, Dupé is going to talk to us about the 5 mistakes that content creators make. And so just so we're clear, even on when we say content creators, because in my mind, I'm like, well, are we all content creators?
We
Is it all
are.
social media? So
Mhm.
explain what does that even mean when we say content creator?
Right. Like a content creator is someone who produces content for the masses, like on social media. And there's different formats of content, right? You can create audio content, written content, video content, interactive content. So live content, like we're doing right now, this is content. And so what I teach my audience is really like figuring out what your personalized content strategy is. What are you best at? What medium is going to suit your audience, but it's also like your expertise, right? So you're very great on camera. You have a great speaker voice. We met on Clubhouse. And so I think like using audio content and video is something that is your strength, right? For you and I, we love being present like this. Some other people may love written content. And so I just want to share that with whatever we're talking about today, the 5 mistakes. I want you to place these mistakes in the format that you produce content, if that makes sense.
I love that because once again, I think that's huge because sometimes, people will try to stuff people in a box or make them try to do it a certain way because it's trending or whatever it is. But it's like if I am petrified to push that go live button, and when I do, you see me go live and I'm having a meltdown, that's not the best
Right.
for me to do it. So
Right.
the audio would be a better thing or written would be a better thing. So yes, we're going to go ahead and dive on into these 5 ways. Like I said, y'all don't see me over here doing this because I'm literally taking notes as Dupé is talking. So Dupé, let's go ahead and dive on into this conversation. What is the first mistake that you see when it comes to creating content?
Right. So there's a lot of mistakes, and I kind of narrowed down my list of 10, and I'm going to be sharing about 5 mistakes today. And the first mistake is this: don't plagiarize. And, we have discussions. I'm in a lot of creator communities, and we have these discussions where other people are taking your content and not giving credit. One of the mistakes that I think content creators make is they get inspired, but they don't understand the kind of rules of social media. We're going to call these the etiquette, right? And so the proper way is if you see content that inspires you, you can repost that content, but you always want to give credit to the original creator. And so one of the ways that you can do that is you can place IB, which stands for inspired by, and then just their at. That way you're showing people, listen, I created or recreated this post and I was inspired by this other creator. Now, if you are posting it verbatim, meaning like word for word, then you just want to say repost and then at, right? You're giving that person credit. That way you don't ruin your brand and people think that you're like stealing other people's content. Because I understand that not everyone does it intentionally, but you do need to learn the etiquette of social media once you get on platforms and you become a content creator. So that's tip number 1.
So I love that, Dupé. Even when you made the comment about, sometimes people don't realize. So I'm gonna always, always like to look for the best in people and say, if we see it, it wasn't intentional.
Right.
But I love those 2 ways that you gave us of kind of handling that. And I didn't even know about the IB. I didn't even know that was even, that's the correct. See, yeah, that's why I bring in the expert because I'll be over here just like, y'all don't listen to me with this, look, because I don't know. But that's absolutely amazing. So exactly, Valerie, it's all about giving credit to those people that inspired you. And just like you said, if it's word for word, hey, this is a repost or share it, either share or repost, those types of things where you give credit where credit is due, like that
Exactly.
type of thing.
And you avoid legal, right? Because people can actually, if they have their content like copywritten, like you don't want to run into any legal situations. So you definitely want to give credit. And this goes to music too, especially if you start using music on platforms. You want to make sure that you're not grabbing music that's not ingrained on the platform, because then you can be swamped with copyright issues as well.
Okay, so look, I'm glad you asked. Let me ask this question because I see it all the time. People, whether or not it was a live they did or they're dancing or something, and not even like the short, because I know we see it a lot like in the short form videos, like reels and stuff like that, where that's almost like that's the norm because it allows for the people to be able to get out their music and all of those things. But like if I'm doing a live or whatever, I can't just put that little verbiage. What's the little verbiage they used to put on there where it would say something like, I'm not the owner of this? Is that a legal way to get away with that? Or
you can
say like, I don't own the rights to this or something like that?
Right. And you want to get, so anytime that you use, so what you want to do is you want to use like commercial use music. And usually when you use commercial use music, they will say, just give credit somewhere. So if you are going to use that music somewhere within that live or your content, you need to give credit to that artist.
So once again, just saying that I don't have the legal right or I don't have the rights to use this and you're not tagging whoever the person is, that's not going to cut it.
You got to tag the person. You got to tag the person who actually owns that sound. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to let
if it's commercial use, right? So, and they usually say that, like if you grab audio from like InShot or CapCut, like these, you'll see like when you copy it, it says, please give credit. And the artist will actually put their name and then even their website in their link. So yeah, you definitely want to do all of that.
Perfect. Okay. I love that. So y'all, we're not plagiarizing. Okay. So look, stop it. If you've been doing it, stop it. Or like she said, give credit and all of that good stuff. So love it. Okay. What's that second thing that you have for us today?
So the second mistake to avoid in content creation is don't ignore your audience. I see a lot of times, when my clients onboard into my program called Christian Creators Academy, a lot of times they have low engagement and people don't know what they don't know, right? Ignoring your audience means that you're not engaging in the comment section. You're not getting to know who they are, right? And so I actually did a training on this last night. It's very important. Like if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see in my comment section, like I actually built relationships with people that I just don't know. And this is by making them feel special, making them feel like they're a part of your community, right? Responding and saying their name. Sometimes just saying like, great day, Beverly. People love that you're paying attention to those little details. So not ignoring them is a great tip. And what happens is if you're creating content that is catered to your audience's pain point, helping them get closer to their desired goal, you're going to start to see like your engagement increase and your following increase as well.
Wow, I love that. So what I'm hearing is a two-way street. Engagement is a two-way street. It is. And you guys, and I love what she was saying. Once again, it kind of, when you were talking to Dupé, it kind of reminded me of, with your social media and your community, it's like almost like you're inviting people into your home. And so if someone were to come into your home, you would not speak to them like you would actually speak to them as they're coming in. So it's a powerful way. And I love that. Once again, the power in building community. That definitely goes a long way. So thank you for that. So you guys, that's don't ignore the people. So once again, the engagement is very important. All right, so we got that. So we're not plagiarizing and we're not ignoring our audience. What else do you have for us today?
So the third tip or the third mistake to avoid in content creation is don't neglect proofreading. Now, we're both educators, Beverly, so I think we're a little bit more like, this is our thing, right? Publishing content with grammatical errors, you guys, and typos and inconsistency can kind of reflect on your brand, right? People can start to see you as being sloppy and not professional. And so you want to proofread, but here's the little hack. I'm sure you guys have heard of Grammarly. I pay for Grammarly every year. And what it does is you can put you can put it on your phone and you can put the extension on your desktop as well in like your Google Chrome. And it will literally edit everything for you before you have to like post your content. So if you don't do that, make sure that you're just using our editors that come with our smartphones, right? So I see a lot of people posting content with errors, and I mean, I cringe. I'm sorry, I do every time. It takes a second, right? It doesn't take that long just to edit. I
And
do.
I'm over here cracking up because I tell people all the time, hey, y'all, I taught math. So I even yesterday, I sent an email out yesterday. I could have sworn I proofread that email. I hit send, it went out. I went back and looked. I'm like, the subject line doesn't even make sense. Like, Bear, what were you thinking? I'm like, it was a huge error in the subject line. I'm like, what are we doing? My sister, she would text me, Bev, your post got a spelling. Oh, thank you, ma'am. I go right on in there.
Right. But you know what's funny though? We're all going to make mistakes though. So I want to make it clear, like even me being someone who's like very particular when it comes to this, like I'm going to make mistakes. But you know what's funny? When people know your standards, they're going to like help you out. So like anytime, and this is like maybe a couple times a year. I don't make a lot of errors, but trust me, when I do, my DMs are filled. Oh my gosh, Dupé, did you notice that typo? And people will, you know, hold you accountable to that. So I love it. I never pick up offense.
There we go. I love that. And I love the recommendation that you gave for Grammarly. Thank you for even typing that out.
Yeah, she said Grammarly has become my best friend.
Look.
That's over here.
There we go. I'm telling you, here's another teacher over here in the chat. Look here. When it just and yeah, and that is the thing. And you know, you'll see people with their posts and all that stuff like that on social media about, you know, hey, stop being so anal about it. But once again, it goes back to what you said, Dupé, just about, you know, it's attached to your brand. And so you do want to have that level of excellence. And just like, we're not just talking about like little mistakes that we're making. We're talking about those things like that. So I love that. Hey, Brigitte, is that how you say it? Y'all help me. Cause look, is that pronounced Brigitte? Let me know. Bridget, look.
That's a fancy way.
Look, hey, you know me. Look, you just talking about standards and stuff like that. Look here over here being bougie and stuff. Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
This video.
Look, so far, once again, when it comes to these mistakes, we're not plagiarizing. Okay, we got that. We're not ignoring our audience. And then once again, we are ensuring that we are not neglecting our proofreading. Okay. So those are the first three things. So you guys make sure you have this. And once again, these resources. And then you also said, Dupé, you mentioned an academy or something. You said that what you do in your academy? You said the who?
My Christian Creators Academy. So that's my program.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you guys, okay, we're ready for number 4. Okay, we're ready. Number 4.
So number 4 is don't lack visual appeal. So I know this takes time, and this is going back to Christian Creators Academy. This is something that has to be taught, right? Some of the elements that you can include is like images, videos, infographics. I always tell my clients to diversify. So I'm looking at like the comments. I'm sorry. My attention goes, y'all. Okay, so I got to stay focused. So what you want to do is you want to create visual appeal in your content. So let's talk about short form video. If you're doing short form video, you want to make sure that you're including closed captions like text, right? Sometimes you want to have an emoji pop up. If you're doing written content, and most of us are on Facebook or LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you add some type of visual appeal, even if it's written content, right? Put an emoji here and there, not like oversaturated, because I don't like, posts that is emojis everywhere. Mm-hmm. However, like an emoji here and there is going to enhance the visual appeal of your content. Okay. So break it up with text and then also add some visuals.
I love that. And because once again, even thinking about it from the user's experience of being able to look at your content. So like written content, and I tell my audiences all the time, it looks like you just typed up a whole big dissertation. There's no white space. There's nobody's going to read it. We're not reading that.
And you said something that's important, especially when you're doing written content, you have to be mindful of the spacing. You have to, like, we're going back to the basics in grammar school, right? Like you want to have like your introduction, then you want to have like your paragraph and then your call to action. And that paragraph, I call it 3 bite-sized solutions, right? You don't want to give too much. And I think we're moving away from that stage in 2023, 2024. You're noticing that content is becoming shorter because our attention span is shorter. So you want to make sure that you're giving bite-sized information because no one has time to read a novel unless you're going to a blog.
There we go. I love that. And then even the tips that you gave, because we know that short form video or short form content is huge right now. And pretty much every platform, has some type of short form content. And so even with what you said, being able to leverage, and ensuring that we have the visually appealing pieces of content. So whether or not you said either like an emoji or what else did you say that we can add to our short form?
Yeah, so you always want to have like text, obviously, whether it's video or written content, and then some type of like visual, like whether it's like a graphic, a meme, an emoji, a picture. You just want to kind of break it up, right? So it keeps your audience engaged.
I love that. Okay, that makes sense. And then, yeah, you mentioned the closed caption too, because once again, all the platforms have the little button for you to be able to turn on the closed caption. Now, let me ask you this, because it goes back to what we were talking about, and there's a lot of there's a lot of comments about the grammar and the proofreading and stuff like that. Because with the closed caption, it does allow for you to edit. So I'm assuming, Dupé, you're gonna tell us the one that edit the captions too, or do we edit the captions? I'm just asking.
No, I'm glad that you asked this, because this is the thing. When you're using, okay, so let's talk about short form video, right? Because that's like my true expertise when it comes to content. When I'm editing my videos, like in an app like InShot or like CapCut, they give you the closed captions, right? You can incorporate the closed captions in there, but you still have to edit the closed captions. So people like me and Beverly who speak very fast, right? You speak very fast. The AI might misinterpret a word. And all of a sudden you're posting a video and you meant to say, hey, and it says lay, right? Or something different. You have to catch those mistakes. So I tell my team, my intern, she learned the hard way. I kept looking at her videos that she was editing for me, and I'm like, there's so many mistakes. And she was like, I was using the closed captions. I was like, no, you still have to edit the closed captions. So that's a great question. Yes. You're good, you guys.
There we go. Good. And Rakita said, when it's a topic I'm really interested in, I want the video to be longer sometimes. And I know some of the platforms are pushing some of I'm gonna put longer short form video right now as well.
Yes.
But I love what Rakita said, sometimes if it's interesting, she wants it to actually go a little bit longer. So look.
And listen, Rakita and I, she was actually in my challenge last month. And so I love Rakita's videos. Her videos are amazing. Yes. I made the mistake with someone who's an expert like me. I still forget, because like Rakita said, when you're in the moment and speaking, you just want to give all that value, right? You want to be careful that you know the length of each video on each platform, because I made the mistake of creating a 3-minute video all last week. And I tried to put it on Instagram Reels, and I forgot that Reels only goes to 1.5 minutes. Yep. So most of my videos were all cut, and people were in the comments, where's the rest? And so I had to pinpoint them over to YouTube. So definitely keep that in mind, that different platforms have different links. So yes,
I love it. Thank you for that reminder, Dupé, because it's true. You do want to make sure that So Facebook and Instagram is 1.5 minutes.
Right. TikTok, TikTok can go up to,
is it like 10 minutes now?
10 minutes.
Yeah. What about YouTube Shorts? I know
YouTube
they have one.
Shorts is 60 seconds. Okay. Once it's over 60 seconds, it's considered long form. And then you want to create a thumbnail, because it's going to be placed in your long form section.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. And then Amanda said she didn't even know that you could edit. So maybe that's the reason why some people's captions, some people don't know that you could actually edit the closed captions. So there we go. There we go. And is it most of them just double tapping? I know on TikTok, you just double tap and it allows for you to edit.
Yeah. You go in
the app. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and if we're using some of the other app, like third-party apps or whatever, that allows for you to edit and stuff like that, it should be something that'll let you know how you can go in there.
You'll see like a little pencil. That's the icon where you can edit, the little pencil icon. And like you said, most apps like TikTok, if you go on the back end, you'll be able to see and like double click and edit the closed captions. Yes, definitely look through those.
I love it. Okay, so we have our 4. So once again, the first one, this is the teacher and me always going back.
Yes, let's recap.
Doing that recap. Exactly. So doing that recap. Oh, now see, she really about to teach out to me, because I was ready to say, hey, y'all put in the chat and let me know who remember what the first one was.
Right.
Who remembers what the first one was? The first mistake we are never ever making here. That's what I really wanted to do. And some of my teachers in there, they'll actually start typing it in there too. Like, what was the first one? No pop quiz. What was the first mistake we are no longer going to ever make when it comes to our social media and our content? Here's another one. Hey, Tiffany. But once again, that first one, we are not plagiarizing. We're not doing that. We are not doing any plagiarizing, period. Once again, we know if we've ever done it, it was by mistake. So we're never doing that anymore. We're not ignoring our audience. We're not ignoring our audience because once again, remember you guys, engagement is a two-way street. It is a two-way street. And so you want to make sure that people that are actually taking the time to comment on your content, that you're actually, responding back. Oh, Dupé, that reminded me of something. How do we do trolls? What do we do? Do we just delete the comment? Do we respond? On like Instagram, they have a lot of those little bots. And do I respond back and say thank you? That's what I do. I just say thank you for the comment. But I don't know. How do we, there's bots and then you have
do you want me? I'm always gonna be honest.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm gonna put her on solo so y'all hear this from the expert. It's just gonna be her on the screen. So you're gonna hear from the expert, okay? Go for it.
Well, listen to this. Okay, so let me just say this. So like years ago, I would like ignore trolls. That was my tactic for a long time. I would ignore them. I would delete the comment, like out of sight, out of mind type thing. However, I think like I'm in a different season of my life. And here's the thing, I'm always going to be professional, but it matters what the comment is, right? And what I do is I usually, like you said, Beverly, I usually say thanks for sharing, right? If it's their opinion. However, if it's an attack on me, I usually almost always now respond in some professional way and just say whatever I feel like responding. And usually that, and if, what's funny, like usually I've noticed that sometimes trolls just want your attention or they're trying to see if you would even respond because the response back is usually positive. And I'm like, then maybe you didn't really feel that way, right? So it just depends on my mood for the day, right? I'm either going to say something back, but I'm going to say it from a kingdom perspective.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to learn from you because especially the content that I have that specifically like I do this scripture a day or something like that where I'm reading it, and so it's always comments, and I've depending upon what it is, like if it has profanity, I will delete it. Like I don't even do that in my.
You can block that though. I never see profanity on my channels because you can actually go.
Yes, it's one of the little criteria, little thing. Okay, that's right. And then some of them, they're just comments about Jesus isn't real. And so, stuff like I leave it up, I didn't delete it, but I haven't responded to them. I'm just like, I don't want to go back and forth with somebody. That.
Yeah. Usually when like someone one time on LinkedIn was like, well, which God? And I just responded, there's only one God. Like, I would just say my opinion. Like this, you're on my platform, you know which God I'm talking about, right? If you're like following my content. So like sometimes, I might be like a smart aleck, and they'll just respond like with a smile or they won't respond at all. Like I said, use your discretion, but I always tell people this, never engage in arguments and never go back and forth, right? If I comment, it's one time and I'm out, right? If you want to keep going back and forth, I'm most likely going to block you. But I always say like, don't engage, right? Don't pick up offense. If I do comment, it's not from like maybe picking up offense. It's just to say, I need this person to know that what they're saying is not okay. You can't just go trolling and bullying people online. And so usually that's where I like step in. Sometimes I'll ask them an intelligent question and they exactly, Tiffany, right. So every situation is going to be different. You have to use your discretion.
I love it. Okay, I'm learning. I'm writing it down, Dupé. Okay, okay, Father. Okay. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. And she also said respond in the kingdom way. That was the other part because I'm kingdom like, before Christ bed. I'm like, okay, babe, I've got to remember. Okay. So thank you for that reminder.
You never know who's going to be taking screenshots and you never know who's using against you.
That's true.
Do not respond if you can't respond in a professional and kingdom manner. Yes.
I love it. Okay, so we got it. So once again, we're not plagiarizing. We're not ignoring our audience. Okay, we're proofreading. Okay, and then number 4, we're making sure we have the visual appeal. Okay, and now the 5th.
The 5th is don't be inconsistent. Okay, and let me tell you what I mean by this, because I think some people think inconsistency means just with posting your content, but it means beyond that. Okay, I teach my clients that your branding has to be consistent across all your social media platforms. Think about it. If you're trying to build a business, would you want someone going to your YouTube channel and seeing something and then going over to Instagram and seeing something different? you're confusing people. And you know that saying, a confused mind never buys, right? You can't build authority. You can't be that thought leader in your niche if you're not consistent. And so your consistency needs to be in the style of content that you create, your tone, and your brand messaging and identity. Okay. So not just your fonts, your brand colors, as well as your brand personality and tone, but also something as simple as your handle. I tell my clients all the time, go make your handles consistent. If I'm trying to find Beverly on Facebook and I'm like, wow, I really love her content, let me go and see if she has content on YouTube. And I can't find her because her handle on YouTube is Beverly 23456 and not just her name. She's ruining her opportunity of cross-pollinating her audience, right? And so the fastest way that you can grow is if you keep your branding consistent and people can go and follow you on your other channels.
I love that. I love that because I always use the example. I'm like, I can't be Beverly on Facebook and then I'm Tatalicious over here on Instagram. That's not gonna work because people are not gonna be able to find you. So I tell people, they were like, how do I find you? I'm Beverly Walthour across every platform. Look, whichever platform you go to, I'm the same. Look.
Right. And this is really good for media purposes too. Once we as speakers, because I'm a motivational speaker and we do like press and things. So when we're featured on whether it's television or newspapers or magazines, whatnot, when people say, hey, how can we find you? You want to say at Dupè Aleru across all social media. You don't want to say at Dupè Aleru 1 on Facebook, delicious on Snapchat. Like you don't want to do all that. It doesn't look good. So and we're laughing because we can laugh about it because I used to do that prior to me knowing. And so what you don't know, you don't know, but now you know. So let's go ahead and change that.
And I think also too, that could speak to when we came into social media, our purpose when we initially came in. So if I had a platform, you know what I'm saying, it may not have been for business or it may not have been for this business or whatever it is. So, and because I love what the transparency that Tiffany has when she was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not aligned across my platform.
Get them aligned, Tiffany.
So, if you can get them aligned and look at with Tiffany now, what do I do if the platform someone else has that name or whatever?
I knew you were going to ask that. And this is the thing though. This is right, not Tatalicious. Look at the comment section. So here's the thing though. Like this is why when you start thinking about wanting to build a business, you always want to grab your name. You always want to grab your name because you're building your personal brand, right? If you look at how business has been just in the last 10 years, most business has scaled because of the person behind the business, right? You build a personal brand first and your business is able to grow on the back end. So I always tell my clients, use your name, right? And then you can go and grab other handles that you would like for your business. Same thing with domain names. So if your name is taken, you always want to do a search on every social media platform. Before you go changing everything, make sure it's available on every platform first, and then you go do the update and change. I use my personal name. So I wouldn't use my business name. I would have a separate account for my business because my businesses are two separate entities, right? So I have my LLCs, and then my personal brand is the business as well as the sole proprietor. So make sure that you either have two or you focus on one.
I love that. And so Dupè is answering Tiffany's question. Her question said, do I use my name or my business name? Right. So that's beautiful. And then Amanda just said, hey, I just learned that and had my handles changed to the divorce recovery coach or divorce recovery coach. And this is only because someone else had that name. So that right there. Look, Tiffany said, look, definitely my name. And look, I know my name. Well, there are some Beverly Walthowers. I did a little Google search. I'm like, oh, that's not me though. But yeah. I know, look, like you can pretty much say, yeah, there you go.
So there's other Dupè, but not with my last name. So I always get my name. And listen, and if someone else has your handle, you can always ask them, especially if there's a lot of people who have names, but they're not using that platform. You can always reach out and say like, hey, I would love to have this name. You never know.
I love that. And so I want you to go back and touch a little bit, just name them again. Because when we were talking about consistency, you brought up something very, something that people don't think about. We're thinking consistency is the number of times that I may be showing up, or because people ask me all the time, well, how many times a day do I need to post? And that type of thing. But you didn't say that. You said that, but you were like, I said, was it Style,
I'm looking at my notes
brand
too.
messaging.
So I
Yeah,
said,
you said style, tone, brand messaging, identity. What'd you say?
yeah, I said be consistent in your style, tone, and your brand messaging, as well as your brand identity. So your brand identity is like your brand colors, your logo, your typography, right? The fonts that you use. These little things are important when you're trying to scale, right? If you're just starting out in business, it's not as important. But once you become, pretty well known in your niche, you definitely want to be consistent with that. So consistency is with your branding and how you show up for your audience, right? The days and times that you show up.
I love that. Okay, so I'm glad that you said that, because that consistency is more than just the number of times that I'm posting or whatever that is. That type of thing. Got it. Look, they're over here like, yeah, people don't have my name. Look.
Right, Rakita. When you have a unique name, it's definitely a perk.
Yes. And here's Tiffany over here. Look, I'm telling you that my people, they're so amazing. Look, they're over here, look, transcribing and everything. So thank you for that. And so you guys, we know the title of this live says 5 mistakes the content creators make. But we're gonna give you just a little bit more. So if I'm not mistaken, Dupé, I think you have a bonus one for us as well.
I
do.
I have a bonus. Yes. You guys know me. I like to kind of give more value. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys one final bonus, which is, again, we're talking about 5 mistakes to avoid in content creation. So this 6th bonus mistake to avoid is don't forget a call to action. Do not forget a call to action. So whether you want people to subscribe, whether you want them to share, engage, download, you want to be clear. And here's the thing. People like to be told what to do, believe it or not. We like to be told what to do. And so you want to think about what is your goal first before you create that content. That way you know what the call to action is going to be. If you want to just build visibility, then it would be something in the realms of engagement, like comment this or give it a like, right? But if you're trying to convert, then maybe the call to action is going to be something different, like, subscribe to this or click this link to register, right? So just make sure that you understand what that CTA is and always include some form of call to action on your content.
Gotcha. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so that call to action, hey, Brittany, we see you. That call to action is so important. So should every single one of my posts have a call to action?
Every single one. Yes. Every single one of your posts should have a call to action, but every single call to action should not be you social selling. I wanted to make that clear. You shouldn't always be social selling. Okay. You should have a call to action to where you're trying to get engagement. Your call to action should be something in the realm of you just trying to, see which tip they resonated with most, right? Get conversation. So I would say 95% of my call to actions are for engagement and community. And then that other 5%, maybe once a week, it's something that has to do with social selling, right? Promoting an event, giving away a freebie, something of that sort. So just make sure that there's a balance of more towards your audience, right? You're giving more value in your call to action rather than asking for something in return.
And I love the part that you said, and I'm a business strategist, so sales is my thing. But I love what you said about the call to action to build that engagement, that audience. You see what I'm saying? And that's the part, like, being able to, because I think sometimes we forget the part of social media about the social part, that part about, just the engagement. And for me, this is just my personal, I have not read any research on this. I don't know, but this is just Bev. I just feel like post-pandemic that people are craving community and, like that type of thing. And so us, being able to leverage social media. So anytime I hear people talking about, oh my God, I hate social media, I'm always like, social media is what you make of it. Like it's really what you make of it. And so when you have to shift your mindset to, how you're leveraging that. Social media is a powerful way for you to build community, to have that connection, to have that space in that place where you can really have these conversations and connections and all of those good things. So I absolutely love what it is that you said.
I love that. No, I love that. It's all about community, you guys. Like that's the way to build your brand on social media, building community, right? Not building a following, because there's a difference between followers and community. And I'm actually going to be talking about this at my webinar next week. And I'm going to drop a link. If you guys want, did you guys enjoy this? Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you guys enjoyed this conversation that we had.
I'm like, did we enjoy the conversation, and which one of these tips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the bonus, do we need to make sure that we focus on? Let us know what you got from this conversation, period. If you connect with Dupé, if you were not connected to Dupé before this conversation, connect with her and be like, hey, I saw you over there, we're talking to Bev over there. Let her know where you came from, that type of thing. And so you guys, like I said, Dupé, we see tons of people in the online space that has these huge followings and all that stuff like that. But I brought someone on that is a believer. That's a believer in business. She has no qualms in her content talking about Jesus and God and Holy Spirit. She has zero qualms talking about that. So there is no question about her faith. So I love that she was able to build the platforms that she's built without, and incorporate her faith. But the beautiful part to something that she said, and although in the promotions, we said 400,000, she has over 400,000 followers, but she made the distinctions between followers and communities. And so if you go to any of her pages, they're active and they're engaged. Like it's active and engaged, because some people can buy some, we're not gonna talk about people buying the stuff, but she has really built her platform. And like I said, it's a community there. It's a community feel, the interaction and the engagement. And that's the beautiful piece to me when it comes to social media and being able to build that type of thing. And I look at Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany at work. She one of the one earbud club. I love Tiffany. But being able to leverage that and have that type of community and that type of space. So I wanted to bring in someone that is really and truly an expert in it. One, she has a heart for what she does. She has a heart for the people that God has called for her to serve. And so you guys, outside of connecting with Dupé, so she's on, and she's going to tell you all the platforms she's on. But outside of connecting with her on social media platforms, so you can literally see her in action on her social media platforms, Dupé, there's also a clickable link. So whichever platform you're joining us from, there's a clickable link for her download. So she is gifting us with her download. It is the 50 tried and true content ideas for growing your social media following. Is that so? What's that? Tell us what that special gift is about.
Yeah, so I know like a lot of people want to be a content creator and they want to start creating content. And one of the questions that people always ask is, how do you come up with all your content ideas? And so what I did was I spent time compiling a list of 50 tried and true content ideas that have been proven from content creators to help you grow your social media community. So with that being said, when you look at the list, it's going to give you so many different content ideas. That way you don't have any excuse, and you can get started right away on creating content for your audience.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys, once again, the clickable link for that is in the actual caption of this post. So you can actually click it. Don't go right now. Like, don't click it right now. Wait, because we're ready to wrap up. So don't leave us. But you can click on that link and go ahead and download it. I need to go download it too. So you're going to see my name pop up on your email list, Dupé. Just know, like, look, just mind your business. Like, okay, there, she's trying to get her 50 ideas. Just mind your business, Dupé. And so that clickable link is there. But you mentioned a couple of other things too that I want people to be aware of that you have. Like you mentioned an academy, and you mentioned, I think, a webinar or something that you're doing. So tell us about those and what we can do if we want to connect with you on a deeper level.
If you want to connect with me on a deeper level, we can do two things. Number one, I throw monthly events. So whether it's 5-day challenges or some pop-up webinars like I'm having next week, you can definitely sign up. And what I'm going to be covering next week is how to become a highly visible and profitable content creator. It's going to be, if you guys enjoyed this field, it's going to be very similar. I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I have all my slides and it's like all this dramatic, but I'm really going to dive into the teaching and really kind of like what Bev and I did today, right? Really give you guys that value on how you can really step in and become highly profitable and visible online. And so if that's something that you want to achieve before this year is over, make sure that you guys sign up for next week's webinar. And then the second thing is, if you guys are interested in really becoming a content creator. Now, here's the thing. It's a full-time job, right, Beverly? Like, it's no joke. And so if you're at that point where you're like, this is something that I want to do for a living, then we can have a further discussion on the prerequisites in getting enrolled into my Christian Creators Academy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So y'all, it's 3 things that she's mentioned. So I want to make sure we have this straight, okay? Because I don't want y'all don't embarrass me. Don't get over there in Dupé's land and embarrass me and act like y'all don't have no home training over there. Dupé, that's how I talk to my people. I got to talk to them like that, because sometimes they start acting up. Yeah, they start acting up. I'm like, that's not how I raised y'all. Y'all know better than that. Y'all know we don't do that over there. So she has three things. So one, if you look at the what is it, caption of this live, no matter which platform you're joining us from, we have people on Facebook, we got some YouTubers over there, LinkedIn, whichever platform you're joining us from, there's actually a clickable link. That clickable link is for her 50 tried and true content ideas for growing your social media. So those of you that say, I don't know what to post about, my baby, I don't know. We're eliminating that. So for the rest of 2023, yes. I don't want not near one of y'all to say y'all don't know what to post about. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So that's the clickable link that you see on the video. So once again, go ahead and click that. I think it asks for first name, last name, and email address. Yes. Go ahead and put that in there, and then you're gonna now invite her into your email box. Okay, so into your inbox. And then she mentioned her the webinar. So she is doing a webinar. So in the chat, in the webinar, that has the clickable link in there as well. And I'll go through and I'll update this video and put the clickable link in there too. This is for the webinar that she's doing next week. And you said what day next week?
Next week, it's on Wednesday. So it's going to be 8 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is 11 a.m. Eastern.
Perfect. And you said this webinar is for what now? If I want to build a profitable.
Yeah, how to become a highly visible and profitable content creator.
There we go. So those of you that's hiding, no, we're not hiding anymore. Especially, I'm talking to my believers right now. We are not. We the light on the top of that hill. We were not. We don't make me put scriptures on y'all. Y'all don't make me put scriptures on y'all. Just go ahead and sign up. Just sign up and do the right thing, okay? So the webinar. So those of you that are looking to be highly profitable, visible in your business, do the webinar. And then you mentioned your Christian Content Academy. Is that what you said? Christian
Content Creators Academy.
So y'all see how I just make up stuff? Look, you see how I make
Yeah, so you'll learn more about the Christian Creators Academy. If you, like I said, if you want more information, then we can hop on a call. But most importantly is just coming to the events, getting that value. And then if you want to take that step further, then we can have a discussion.
There we go. Because in this right here, her Christian Creators Academy, just not anybody can't get up in there. So just FYI, because once again, you guys, we just want to ensure that we're all curating spaces and communities for people that know and understand that, this is a different level when it comes to your business. Okay. Right. So I see a couple of people who said they have registered. The rest of you guys, make sure you get in there. All of that good and amazing and awesome stuff. So Dupé, are there any last words? Well, first of all, let me thank you. Thank you once again for coming on the platform and sharing your expertise. Thank you. And so if they're not connected with you just across the social media platforms, how can we connect with you online?
Like I was teaching you guys, at Dupè Aleru on every social media platform. So you guys can find me. My main platforms are LinkedIn and Instagram, as well as YouTube. I do have a pretty large following on TikTok, and I still post every day on TikTok. But if you really want to engage and be a part of my community, I would say connect on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And yeah, I'm excited to see you guys in these social media streets. And I hope to see your guys' content. More importantly, I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, look, don't make up look. Okay, now she told you she's watching this. All right. And so Dupé, any final words that you have for us before we close this live out for today?
I just want to say, you know what? Give yourself grace, because I know a lot of times we can judge ourselves harshly, and also don't compare what you're doing and what God has called you to do to what other people are doing. Okay. So when you step into this space, make sure that you have that vision that God has given you and stick to that vision, even if it's different than what anyone else is doing. God gave me the vision of my company, Davi Creative, years ago, and I was scared to step into my purpose. And once I surrendered and I took a sabbatical year off, I understood clearly what it was he wanted me to do, which was to build a kingdom business to help other Christian entrepreneurs and professionals become content creators. And now I'm in my space doing what I love, and it's fun, right? So I just want to inspire you guys all to get into that space if you're not there yet, to have that conversation with God and to get clear on what it is that he wants you to do and go after it.
I love it. You guys, all about remaining in alignment with what it is and how it is that God has called you. This online space can be a distraction. So you have to be, I love what she said. You have to be super in tune and super focused with what it is and how it is that God has called for you to serve. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. And I think people
can we tell them what we have for them next week too? Because my audience next week, I'm going to be interviewing Bev we're going to do a LinkedIn audio event.
Yes.
So make sure that you're following Beverly on LinkedIn and you're following me on LinkedIn, because we're going to do a part 2 to this, like not on this topic, but we're going to keep this going.
Yes. Because like I said, Dupé and I connected on Clubhouse. So we're going to take it back to that Clubhouse feel. Those of you guys, over there on LinkedIn, they have LinkedIn audio. Super, 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 super powerful. And I've only used it a couple of times. So I'm going to get back to that as well. So definitely next week. So of course, you guys, I'll let you guys know. Is it next week? The weekend? Yeah, next week. It's next week.
I think it's the week. Isn't the day I'm doing my event on Wednesday?
It's next Wednesday. Yeah, I think the 23rd or something like that. So yeah. So you guys, definitely.
Webinar. We're gonna hit you with a double whammy. I think we're gonna do back to back.
Love it. So once again, Dupé, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us live. Those of you that are catching us on the replay, make sure I always tell you guys, you engage, you leave your questions, your comments, all that awesome stuff, and we'll definitely make sure that we circle back around as well. Make sure that you've downloaded your free guide, the 50 tried and true content ideas for growing your social media following. Make sure that you've also signed up. I saw some of you guys have registered, so make sure you also sign up for the webinar that Dupé is doing next Wednesday. And then once again, those of you from that, she'll definitely let you know any next steps if you're really and truly serious about the content that you're creating and the communities that you want to build online. You guys, until next time, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the other side of this live. You guys take care.